Okay, welcome to the B Leaguer Beer Leaguer podcast episode, videocast episode number 3. Funny how life imitates art. In my last episode, I was being an ageist talking about that mouthy goalie on Beer Leaguer's Beer League Player Association podcast, saying, "Hey, I'm old and I know better. So we want to argue, fine, but you don't know shit and you're a mouthy kid." Came to a head in my last beer league game where, I fought a guy off for the puck, made it clear. And, he was holding on to me, and I said, "Hey, you want to hold on any longer, it's going to cost you." And what came out of his mouth was straight, "Fuck you, old man, I'll kick your ass." Or I'll beat your ass, I believe it was. To which I said, okay. You want to fucking go? You want to do something about it? Or you just want to talk shit? And he skated away. So for the rest of the game, I went out of my way to hit him every chance I got. Took a penalty for it. I hit him. Good behind the net. And he says, "Oh, nice hit." I'm like, "Yeah, enjoy your power play." Skated by another one of their players who, said, "Was it worth it?" I said, "Yeah, as a matter of fact, it was." So I had several more run-ins with the guy. I had another run-in. He was chopping at our goalie for a puck that was covered. And we pushed and shoved, and he argued with the refs that I'm going after this guy and do something about me and blah, 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 blah. Yeah, we got coincidental minors, and he got an additional minor for mouthing off. And the whole time I'm just saying to him, "Oh, it's so unfair. It's so unfair." Fuck you, man. Seriously. Now, later on in the game, another player who I actually know made a crack about me being old. And I said, "Yeah, I'm old. Or relax." I was being told to relax by a player that has a bit of a temper herself. Yeah, female player. She's got a temper. She's a good player. She's got a temper, and she doesn't take anybody's shit. Good for her. I don't blame her. But she'll hand out just as many slashes as she takes. So, all joking aside, when she said, "You're just old," I said, "Yeah, I know I'm old." If I know you, it's one thing. If I don't know you, that's just disrespectful and it's bullshit. I didn't call out anybody for being old when I was a younger player. You respect the guys that have been doing it. Even if they suck, you respect them because they still want to do it. Case in point, one of my favorite teammates of all time, sweet old French-Canadian guy, Mark the Rocket Rodriguez. When the league sold him to me as, "Oh, I got a guy who needs a team," Mark Rodriguez. I thought I knew who he was because there was another Rodriguez in the league who was a pretty good defenseman. So I make a phone call to this guy, and I say, "Hey, we need a defenseman." "Oh, no, I don't play any defense." Okay. Shows up, he's in his 60s. Played for us into his 70s. Great guy, the Rocket, the little French-Canadian guy. He'll come out and play no matter what. And I used to use him when guys would complain, "Oh, I'm tired. I don't know if I can make the game." The 68-year-old guy's coming. What's your fucking excuse? So I've always had respect for older players. When I was a younger player and even now, you have respect for the guys that play or want to come out and keep playing. Because it's the best game in the world. Beer League is a lot of fun when it's not being dramatic bullshit, and it very rarely is it dramatic bullshit, but, everybody wants to have some kind of fun. It's your varying degrees of fun. Is fun to you coming out and destroying another team 10-1, or is fun to you coming out and playing and it's close and the better team wins, or you get a lucky bounce, whatever. It was actually a really good men's league game. It was a really good beer league game. We were losing, we tied it, we blew a lead. It is what it is. We took some dumb penalties that weren't always mine. Stuff happens. But fucking call me old and I'm in a disrespectful way, I'm going to want to kick your ass. And, and then not do anything about it and cry to the refs, "This guy's hitting me. This guy's coming after me. Why don't you call shit on this guy?" Fuck you, dude. Man up. Seriously. Buck up. Or shut up. I'm all for chirps. But when they're disrespectful garbage, you deserve to get punched. You deserve to get hit. Every time you come near me, I'm going to raise my shoulder and try to stick it under your chin. Hitting league or not. So, fuck off. Seriously. But, I digress. Of course, I made a comment about being an old head, and then I get called to the carpet for being an old fuck. And I didn't like it. So, such is life. But I want to try to keep these shorter. The first 2 episodes are 40 minutes plus. What's in my bag is going to be actually not in my bag. It's going to be sticks. And if you can see them over my shoulder, I have a ton. I just love hockey that much, and I'm a gear nerd, and I love gear that much, and we're running the gambit here. I'm probably gonna have to get up and put the blades in front of the camera and talk about them, we should get to that right away because there's a bunch. But we're gonna start in the old fart department. We're gonna start with wood. So, and I didn't mention the jersey. I've got my gloves on for effect because I'm gonna be holding sticks. This one of the teams that I ran, the last team that I was captain of, the Leafs. We were put together all as individual signups when the league first started, when the rink first opened, all the way back in the late 90s. Early 2000s, and we were just the Leafs, and we had green jerseys, which made no sense, but we were the Leafs. We kept the name, and we had many variations of the jersey over the years, this probably being our most colorful one. We all decided that because teams loaded up with ringers and guys didn't have matching jerseys, and it was always, where's this guy from college, where's this guy from junior, blah blah blah, his jersey doesn't match. And our league has gone to a uniform rule where, similar to Hockey North America, if anybody's played in Hockey North America, you have to buy your jerseys through them or get your jersey purchase approved by them, and everybody has to have matching jerseys with names and numbers. This is so much now in Beer League that it's a matching jersey or very similar with at least a number, so people can readily be identified, so you're not cheating. Now, sure, somebody can put somebody else's jersey on, and if you really want to check rosters, then people have to present IDs. And everybody's got to be, quote-unquote, over 21, which is bullshit. But whatever. There's plenty of teenagers playing in our league. Good, bad, or indifferent. More power to them. When I was 17, I was playing in Beer League, but there were nowhere near strict rules, and nobody was saying, that guy's a ringer, get him the fuck out of here. I've never had that privilege or that pleasure. So, these are Moscow Dynamo jerseys. Moscow Dynamo. From their days long after the fall of communism, quote unquote, and commercial advertisement all over the jersey. This is a car company, I think, Zepter. You can see the little BMW logos. Here's Samsung, if you can't miss Samsung, and the Moscow Dynamo. I'm gonna have to back up some. Moscow Dynamo. Okay, great colors, blue, gray, white, and our names in the back. And Cyrillic, and my bald head. Names on the back, Cyrillic, my bald head, if the mic didn't pick that up. So, the first game we got to wear these, we got called to the carpet right away. What's with the Cyrillic on the back? What are you trying to do? Hide our ringers. We had guys who got Ron Jeremy and Cyrillic written in the back of their jersey. Manhandler, which is another story, written on the back of the jersey. We had a ringer jersey that was specifically for subs that they could wear, and they were our ringers. So, these jerseys were a lot of fun. We wore them for a couple of years. Little pricey, dye sublimated everything, very polyester. They don't breathe great, but they do breathe. And really not reversible. If you need to flip it inside out, the inside's white, and it's going to show every single one of your sweat marks. But, who uses reversible jerseys? I know in a situation, they actually helped us out because we were playing another team that had blue, and we didn't have, all of us didn't have alternate jerseys to wear home and away. Most teams have one, some teams have two, other teams have 4 fucking jerseys. People love jerseys. So we flipped these inside out, and they were white on the inside, and they worked. And, you could just see everybody's sweat stains. But sticks. So we've got wood, we've got composite, we've got varying flexes, we've got big companies, we've got one small custom company that I want to talk about. And, if there were an opportunity for sponsorship, I actually really like their product, and I would love if they wanted to advertise or send me free samples. They're a small enough company where I'm sure they can't, but they do make a very good product, and they've got some presence on Instagram. That's how I found them. So, sticks. We're going to start with wood, and we're going to make for bad video. I'm going to get up and move around. Waiting for all of those to fall. So, here's my Sherwood 5030, the Leach pattern, which if you grew up in South Jersey was very popular. Reggie Leach's supposed pattern. Decent length. I didn't cut it. It's a little tall for street hockey. For ice hockey, it's perfect shape. Big heel wedge, with a little bit of mid curve. Extremely. Oh, there we go. One bang. We're gonna have to figure out not a very thick blade. I believe a 6 lie, it may be a 5.5. But, good old school Sherwood. Bought this at an auction for a company or a hockey supplier that I knew went under, and all their gear ended up at auction. But I bought these. Wood, inconsistent as hell, but the right feel and the right heft. And you chop a guy going by and he feels it. Love this thing. Barely use it in a game. Sometimes I use the stick handle and screw around. Into the same department, more wood. Christian Brothers, still around. I'm not quite sure if Vaughn owns them. Like I've mentioned, Vaughn bought up a lot of old hockey suppliers and keeps distributing their gear. Customizable. I can't see that, but my name and my number. Last name and my number. This is the top of the line wood one they make. I forget the designation. I think it's R3900. A coffee curve, sort of, but not a huge coffee curve. I mean, if you've owned wood sticks and you're old enough to remember Paul Coffey, his curve was everywhere on Sherwood products, and there are a lot of comparables. Christian Brothers were the former Olympians from the 60s, and their son, Dave Christian, and all NHLers. They were the first aluminum stick maker before Easton jumped in. Their product was all over the place. It definitely had a stamp on Team USA for a long time. Was an American company or / Canadian company. Made in Canada, born in the U.S. is stamped on here. Don't know if you can see that. My lighting isn't the best, but I just got these. I waited forever with all the problems going on with the post office and the postal service in the world, thanks to external influences and whatever you want to say. These sat in New York for weeks until I finally got them. And I really like them. They're on the heavy side. They're wood. I've used them in a game. Posted on my Instagram that I was going to slash the crap at everybody that went by with these. And I like this stick. Of course, all the drawbacks to wood. It's going to lose some of its whip. It's going to wear down over time. It's not going to stay consistent. But there's just something to a wood stick, even if it's just for warming up, stick handling, shooting pucks. Then you grab your composite, and things are super different. So, from there, we're going to go to one of my oddballs. This is a leftover Martin Havlat that I got from Pro Stock Hockey. Warrior. Covert. It's got a really funky toe curve. And as you can see, it's it's pretty much straight towards the upper quarter of the blade, and then a little bit of a curve and a big toe. Tapered at the end. Believe it's a 90 or 95 flex. No Pro Stock, no warranty. It's a good stick for stick handling. If you're in close, that toe curve is great for a lift. I had a Jaromir Jagr Reebok stick that I absolutely loved, and I broke it. And his curve is similar with more mid curve, and the toe is a little more aggressive. Great sticks, and it got me hip to toe curves. So here's a toe curve. I like this thing, but it's inconsistent as hell because I'm not that skilled to be using this stick. It's great for stick handling, not so great for shooting, good for passing, so on and so forth. Now, currently, I've got just a bevy. In the beginning, all I ever used was Sherwood, and then anything that was at Skate's Edge, the pro shop near where I grew up that also got lots of stuff left over from the Flyers, I had tons of Sherwoods. I had a Chimo. I had a bunch of Titans because Titans were great street hockey sticks. Mostly Flyers leftover stuff, and a few commercial sticks. The weirdest stick I ever had was a Murray Craven West Star, and if you look up the company, I don't know how they survived. The thing was sort of like a Titan Turbo stick, in that fiberglassy feel that Mike Bossy made famous, and some other Islanders. It was a terrible stick for the street, but it was cool. I got all kinds of cool stuff that way. So, oddball manufacturers, here we go, sticks. And this is JT Miller in Vancouver. Surgeon RX, their first stick line. Big mid-curve. Bit of a banana, but not a super banana. I think this is a, 90 flex. It's on the shaft of the stick. I don't know if you can get that detail. This is not great camera work, but I don't know if you get the 90 flex. I like this stick. I'm not completely in love with it, and I get really bored. And I'll change sticks when there's a deal or a sale. I definitely got this from Pro Stock Hockey in clearance on the cheap side. So definitely worth having. Again, more great video. Another sticks Nick Leddy on the Islanders, 100 flex. This is their HPR line. These are the HPR 1s, not the HPR 2s. Actually, these might even be the HPR 2s. Either way, I like the stick a lot. Bit of an odd curve on the toe side as well. I apologize for the hair on the bottom, but I have 2 dogs. So I like this stick a lot. I was using this stick. Should I edit that out? I was using this stick for a while, predominantly as my main stick, and then I just got bored with it. And I have another one in case I want to go back to it. I don't quite like how thin the blade is, but again, skilled player in the NHL versus me, beer league duffer who, quite frankly, way past his prime. Now some more oddballs and I'll do the custom stick last. CCM RBZ first editions with the powered by TaylorMade, the golf company. This is Oliver Lordison's stick, who had a stint with the Flyers and a career minor leaguer, and is now over in European leagues playing for Jokerit still, I believe. Giant man, 6'6", maybe even 6'7". Scored 2 big booming slap shot goals. One hit somebody, one went straight in. Always had hope for him making the Flyers just because I thought they needed a big defenseman who was somewhat mobile, a little bit bigger and a little bit tougher than Braden Coburn, and so on and so forth. I follow him on Instagram. He's a really nice guy. He's a family guy. He's got this giant stick because he's a 6'7" guy, which I have had to cut down. Big heel curve, tons of blade. And this stick is 120 flex. This stick is 120 flex because he's a giant man. So he can generate that kind of torque. I can't. So this thing is stiff as a board. There's no whip in this. So this is strictly a passing stick. This is strictly a slap shot stick. My wrister is non-existent with this stick. There's no whip. None. And we'll talk about stick theory in a little bit. But oddball stick, niche player, but fun guy, family guy, nice guy on Instagram anyway. And I kind of hope he'd make it in the NHL, but, he still made it. He's still getting paid to play hockey. He's doing something right. Now that's going to move us to the RBZ2 line. Still, TaylorMade helping out with powering them. RBZ Stage 2. These are Dana Muzzin's when he was still with the Kings, before he got traded to the Leafs. And I really like this pattern, but it's a bit on the odd side. And he's a 110 guy. He's another big guy, not quite as big as Lordison. But, there is the curve. Not so much in the mid, more toe. Very stiff stick. I like the size of the blade. Not always. I love this butcher square, but here's. I guess if you're fetching pucks out of the corner, you want that little rounded. That's a whole nother stick theory thing to talk about. But I like this stick. I just got a little tired of them. I have 2 of them. They're sort of my extreme backups, and I change my mind about what I like in sticks constantly. From that Yager curve to that Martin Havlat stick that I showed you to buying 2 wood sticks from Christian Brothers. It's feel for the moment. So I liked these for a little while, and then I stopped liking them. I think I hit the Teflon birdie. Okay, this is my current primary stick. You can see I don't know why I said Teflon birdie. You can see it swinging up there. It's left over from the holidays. My mistletoe bird. Gift from my girlfriend's family. So these are Dynasty STY. Is that STY? Yeah. Or just Dynasty. not the brightest bulb, beer leaguer. So the Dynasty Line Warrior. This is Oliver Clefbaum. I forget who he's playing for now. He was with the Oilers at the time. He might still be an Oiler. I like this stick a lot. This is my primary for right now. It's a... I don't know if I have his stuff covered. I think it's a 95 flex. It might be 100 or 90 or 100. And I like the stick. I like the curve and a lot of blade. A little bit of a mid curve working its way into a toe. I like the graphics. I love pro stock stuff. The sticks are made way better. I keep cutting my big forehead off, but whatever. That's the camera work for you. This is my current stick. He's a defenseman. I'm a defenseman. I like the stick. Now, this is a custom stick from Custom Hockey Sticks out of Canada. Free plug. And I ordered the incorrect size, not paying attention, and they were very gracious enough to say, no, you didn't make a mistake in your ordering. You didn't pay attention to the stick length, which we've found is common, so we'll send you free extensions. And my extension broke right where the extension goes into the shaft. So that's what she said. Bump, bump. I don't know if I'm just going to use this as a trainer because there's no structural break other than the extension break. So I'm going to sit and stick handle in my kitchen with it, find a left-handed friend who's a little bit shorter than me who might want to use it. This was fully customizable to a point. I got it graphic free. I got the checkerboard weave on it not completely graphic free, but mostly graphic free. And actually, that's upside down. CHS, custom hockey sticks. A P92 pattern. So a little bit of a, toe curve, more mid towards the top. You could get kick point, whatever you want, flex, whatever you want, you name it. So you can see that. It's a 6 lie. I don't know if you can read all this. It's a 6 lie. It's a 92 flex. Actually, no, I'm sorry. It is a 65 flex, and it's pattern 92. So this thing had lots of whip and great for wristers, and I really liked it. And the funny thing, same game where I got called old, my last game, felt good in warm-ups, was, shooting the puck well with this thing. Middle of a shift, I just feel something's amiss because the extension broke. So I'm playing with a broken stick, hiding it as best I can because I'm stuck on the ice. And, I'm trying to hold it at the very end so it doesn't look broken, but of course it's broken, so it's hanging on by a thread and I can't get to the puck. I'm trying to choke on it down here. Well, my mistake that when I ordered these are way too short for ice for me. So, actually, it might actually be... I think it's broke at the entry point. It's just way too short for me on the ice, so I'm having a hell of a time doing anything with the puck. Thankfully, I got off, and I went to my other stick. I just felt good shooting with this stick, so it became my primary for the game, as opposed to the Warrior I just showed you. And, there are a lot of custom sticks companies out there. I suggest giving them a try at the price point because they're a lot cheaper than some of the really nice retail sticks. And the technology's pretty universal with a few exceptions. So, there's No Name Hockey, there's Ribeiro, there's custom hockey sticks, there's all black hockey sticks. There's another company that has access to pro patterns and will make you a pro stick. They actually have the Yager pattern, but they're not available because people buy them right up. I'd love to get them. But these are the sticks that I'm using right now, not specifically this. I have another one of these. It's a very different curve. And it's a 50 flex, so it's way too whippy. And it was an experiment. I essentially bought it to break it, which was kind of ridiculous. But I was working at the time, so I didn't care. I had money in my pocket. And that is actually a 50 flex. It's like a golf club. And I'm sure it's going to break around the same point just because of the way I play hockey. But these are the sticks that I'm using right now. All a little different. I'm hoping the high gain microphone picked everything up. All a little different. All, based on the whims of how I feel at the time, what's on sale, and what I want to try. That's how I found that Yager stick. It was $80. I ended up loving the curve and loving the stick. And, I don't have even remotely the hands that Jaromir Yager has. But I really like the stick, and I played well with it, and I enjoyed using it. So, again, the message out of that is try the smaller stick companies. They want your business. You can get things so customized now. No Name is even running a sort of Pride Week rainbow-colored graphics. You could have that and Pride tape and send the Pride message. And it's a really good-looking stick. And you can get your name on it. You can get all kinds of flexes, kick points, you name it. So let's go into a little bit of stick theory. A stiffer stick for control, a whippier stick for power behind your shot is the mentality. Plus, depending on your weight, your height, you name it. I used to only use stiff sticks. It had to at least be a 95 flex and up. I was breaking 85 flex. I was breaking 77 flexes. Just, I'm too heavy, and I torque too much when I try to shoot, and that, with my weight and my maybe not the best technique, I was breaking sticks left and right. So I've always liked the stiffer stick, just for slap shots, just for passes. I'm not a big wrister guy, and I have a decent wrister. Ask some of the people who say I have a decent wrister. And, not to toot my own horn, but I had a decent wrister. I bought a 77 Bauer stick on a whim and scored a few goals with it and thought, all right, cool, whippy sticks. I still break them, but I'll use a whippier stick now. You hear stories about guys like Johnny Gaudreau, who's 5 foot whatever, using a 45 flex stick. Well, okay, he's sponsored. He can get whatever he wants, and he needs that whip, and it certainly gets it out of his shot. You can see the way the guy shoots the puck. I don't know how it helps his passing game at all, because I find a whippier stick very inconsistent, but who knows. So from lie to how the stick lays and your angle, which is what lie is, from the shape of the blade and the height of the blade, a box front, a curved toe front, all personal preference. I've tried lots of different things. Truth be told, I love a toe curve, but it's not always my favorite. I like a decent mid curve. I don't need a big giant banana. I probably like a 6 lie. I like a 7 lie, even a little, just for a little more blade length and the angle. And flexes will vary. I still love my old wood sticks. Some of my favorite sticks of all times were all Sherwoods, and they were all wood. 70-30s, 9000s, 9950s, 7000s. Somewhere, probably out in my base or the storage closet, I know I have it. I have my stick from high school that I scored my only goal with. I believe it's Coffee Curve, and it's a Sherwood 70-30, all black. Great wood stick. It's probably cut a little short. I think I have some neon tape left on it. That's how old it is. But those were my favorite sticks. And things evolve over time. When Bauer moved into composites, I really liked the Bauers. I loved Easton aluminum. I don't think I have one handy, but I do have one out in the storage closet, and maybe I'll whip it out for another episode. That's what she said. So yeah, it all boils down to preference, and if you're in a position to experiment, I suggest you experiment. Try subtle changes to see if they help your game, or if you just like to feel different. I was so against whippy sticks, scored a couple goals with a whippy stick. All of a sudden, whippy sticks aren't so bad. Went back to stiffer sticks because I'm trying to, keep my slap shot consistent, keep my passing consistent. Just, I like the feel better. I don't like 6 tons of give. And then go out and buy those custom hockey sticks. One's a 65 flex, one's a 50 flex. So, craziness. But I'm rubbing my nose. We're getting up here to my usual segment of a follow, a fuck up, and a funny story. Follow, I'm going to say Philion, who rips into the fitness realm. I'll include a link down there. His most recent thing has been going on to Reddit, Natty or Not, to talk about the fitness industry and who claims they're natural and there's no way they are natural. It's just one of the little rabbit holes that I like to go down. It's entertaining while I'm enjoying this endless job hunt and extension of 2020 that's going on in my life right now. Even though the calendar says it's 2021, I feel like I'm still stuck in 2020. A fuck up. Well, I'm going to go with Tony Robbins, and that's going to be a wildly unpopular opinion, but I'm going to go with Tony Robbins. I was offered his latest seminar for free that was on Facebook and YouTube, and a friend of mine was doing it, so I said, sure, it's free, and I've got available time, I'll listen to it. Well, it's affirmation. Tony Robbins is affirmation. He says what you want to hear. That's what he does. And he makes his money by saying, you heard what you wanted to hear in this seminar. Wait till what you hear in our next seminar for X amount of dollars. And I'm sure he's helped a lot of people. And his message isn't terrible. His message is one of move forward, right? Try to change your attitude towards these things. Try. Try is great, but as the saying goes, do or do not, there is no try. So you're either going to do it or you're not going to do it. And if you follow his things and you have success, great. I don't discredit your success. What I discredit is it's affirmation. You're looking for affirmation. You're looking for someone to say, you know what? Yep, that's the problem. X is the problem. Y is the problem. You're not the problem. These external forces are the problem. You are the problem. You just need to admit it and then change your thinking. It's all stuff that sounds good in the moment. If you actually go out and apply it, your results may vary. I'm sorry, but that's the way of the world. And funny story. So back to age. there was an older gentleman who used to skate at the same pickup that I skated at, and we would go at each other nonstop. I respected this guy quite a bit, but in the same vein, he was a hack. And he reminded me of Jay Miller because he wore the old Cooper helmet. He had King's stuff, or had King's jersey, black gear, black gloves, and we just tried to beat the crap out of each other every time we got near each other. And the one time I just got him. I mean, I got him. He knew it was coming. He still stepped in there anyway. I ran him the fuck over. And he just looked at me and he's like, "Do I owe you money?" I said, "No, I don't think so." He's like, "Well, why you fucking treat me like I owe you money? Stop running me the fuck over." I'm like, "Yeah, you give as good as you get, dude. I'll tell you what, I'll buy you a beer after the fucking game, but, you know, you don't owe me money, and we're just giving it." And that's the kind of respect you should have for an older player, to tie back to what I started with. You know, the older guys are out there because they still love doing it, and they still enjoy themselves. The gentleman who died last year, who was playing into his 90s, you know, daily or 3 times a week, whatever it was, you know, with a great mustache. That's part of what this is about. I mean, everybody loves beer league to a point. Sometimes there are hotheads in beer league. There are guys who are just there to blow off steam, or they're just assholes in any aspect of their life, and it spills over into beer league. I totally get that. That's going to happen. But don't ruin it for everybody else. Don't yuck my yum. If you're going to come out and you're going to be a dick, expect to pay a price. Plain and simple. And I skate with guys who know they're being a dick while they're playing. Off the ice, they're great. But on the ice, they can be dicks. Cool. Another funny story. A guy on one of my only HNA team on the Roadrunners, Hockey North America, for if you don't know what HNA is. He coached kids, which I found terrifying. He was an asshole, and he knew he was an asshole, and he owned it. But he would start, and he was a good player. I mean, a guy could score, a guy could skate, guy was coaching kids. He's a good player. But he'd always start trouble. He'd play like a dick. He'd play on the edge. He'd annoy people. And he decided, and he wasn't the nicest guy off the ice, he decided to basically start a fight in the handshake line. And he got the tar beat out of him. He comes into the locker room, and this is actually a game that I played goal in, and we lost 7-6, I think, or 8-7. You know, I'm not a good goalie. And this team didn't have a win yet, right? So they kept scoring because I'm a bad goalie. We kept scoring because we were a good team. And it was considered an exhibition game. He starts a fight in the handshake line, and then comes into the locker room and proceeds to yell at us like, "Why don't you guys have my back?" And to a man, most of us looked at him and said, "Dude, you're a dick. You started a fucking fight in the handshake line. Like, we didn't let anybody else jump on you. We did that part, which is our duty role as teammates. But you picked a guy, you thought you were going to kick his ass, and he handed you your lunch. Make better decisions if you're going to be a jerk-off. Or stop being a jerk-off." So, to, my buddy number 8 on the team that I just played, hopefully next time we skate against one another, you won't call me old, and I'll give you a fair shake in most aspects, but I'm not going to roll over and play dead. And you know what? If you're going to call me names, I'm going to try to knock you the fuck out. Plain and simple. Time to go edit this a bit. Kept it a little bit shorter. We're at 33 minutes and change. Stay tuned for the next episode video cast of the B-Leaguer Beer Leaguer. I appreciate my 1 subscriber. I hope to get more, obviously. Who knows? But, everybody's got a brand now, and everybody's got a podcast or a video cast, and now, hopefully, so do I. Not stealing anybody's exit. I'm just going to exit.